Shadow of War will have microtransactions, and it's safe to say it's divided the community. Some people see microtransactions as a plague on the industry, and other people don't seem to mind so much. But rather than just tear them apart like we normally do here at Pretty Good Gaming, we thought we'd take a more balanced view and outline all the arguments in favour and against microtransactions. But first, let's have a look at what they announced.
Over the weekend, Warner Bros. Games, the folks behind titles like Batman Arkham Knight and the LEGO games, announced there would be microtransactions in the upcoming Middle-earth Shadow of War. In a post on the Warner Bros. Games forums, community specialist Gareth unveiled a new loot box system called The Market. The Market will let players buy loot boxes, war chests, XP boosts, and bundles of the aforementioned items. Loot boxes contain gear of varying rarity which enhances the player's ability and XP boosts which speed up in-game progression. War chests contain orcs which can be used in the player's army, and these orcs vary in strength, so some will be weak and not so worth using, whereas other orcs might have the potential to make the player's army overpowered.
These loot boxes and war chests can be bought using two different forms of in-game currency, gold and Mirian. Mirian is obtained in-game by defeating treasure orcs, recycling gear, recycling orc followers, and finding stashes littered throughout the game. How do you recycle an orc follower?
Sounds messy.
Don't worry, dude. I'm just going to recycle you to get some Mirian.
An arm of that orc, an arm off that orc, like in Frankenstein or something, isn't it?
Gold, on the other hand, is bought from real-world marketplaces like Steam, PSN, or Xbox Live, and small amounts can be earned from meeting milestones throughout the game. Community specialist Jared is keen to point out that no content is gated behind gold, and all content can be acquired naturally through normal gameplay. Acquired naturally, like you can naturally unlock them by playing a game, or you can unnaturally pay for it.
Be aware that it is very unnatural to pay for games, but more on that later. We're trying to withdraw, aren't we? We're trying to hold ourselves back.
Let's stay balanced for now.
Brewing.
So
Fires of Mordor.
Jared also says gold does not offer any advantages in-game, and it only offers immediate access to items and orcs for players who wish to speed up the progression, or as he likes to put it, accelerating the rewards. So now let's have a look at some of the arguments in favour and against microtransactions in this case. So first, let's look at the pros.
Alright, so maybe the biggest defense for this game with microtransactions is they are entirely optional. You can unlock them all naturally, as they put it a little earlier, which means you can do it all with the in-game currency that you can earn in-game. Nothing behind a paywall. You don't have to whip the wallet out once, in theory. So that's one pro.
The other pro is that some people might not have loads and loads of time to play a game like this. They might want to speed up things and they might have the money to do that. So why spend 2 hours trying to unlock something that you could just pay a small fee for and get that unlocked? For people who don't have a lot of time to play games, this speeds up their progression through the games, and it's a decent way for them to do that.
Another pro here is that none of the items in the crates are exclusively for people to open the crates, like some of the other games we've seen. If this has happened to, like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, everything you see here you can earn or find in the real world. You don't have to open any crates to find them. No item exclusivity, so that's pretty good. The final pro we've got here is that if you are going to do microtransactions, this is the most unobtrusive way, and this seems to be the way to go. I mean, it's completely optional. All of the above points, really.
This is hard. You find this hard, like putting across opinions that we don't actually feel.
Yeah.
This is difficult. Difficult for us, this. Let's get into the reasons why microtransactions are not a good thing. So the biggest criticism of microtransactions in Shadow of War is this might seem like a way for developers to produce the game with the microtransactions in mind, or purposefully unbalancing the game to make microtransactions more appealing, make it really, really grindy. Who wants to play that game? The microtransactions are there to get you out of that.
That's right. And then when you do spend your money on a microtransaction to get some items that you want, you're not just going and picking something you want and buying it. There's a chance you might get this, a chance you might get that. And you might not want another dagger, you might want a bow. It is a bit of uncertainty. And again, I'm going down the old gambling route. You know, you're buying the opportunity to maybe get something good.
Another criticism of microtransactions is that this is accepting or normalizing this type of payment model in gaming, and it may lead to other developers in future using the same kind of monetization, and these publishers might be more exploitative with the implementation of microtransactions. There is an argument to be said that there should be zero tolerance to any sort of microtransactions because it just condones this in future.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just really supporting this greed mentality and the fact that every single advantage needs to be associated with a cost. In previous games from 20 years ago, you could enter a cheat code, Grand Theft Auto, you could spin around, R2, L1, all that. You You can get all the guns. You can still obtain all the guns naturally, but a cheat code just gives you instant access. If they were to do it now, you'd have to pay for these things. It's basically paid cheat codes.
And the final criticism towards microtransactions in this case is that essentially you already bought a full price game and they're expecting you or wanting you to pay more for the experience of playing the game. They're monetizing it like a free-to-play game or one of them shitty apps that you use on your phone. You've already paid for it. Why you want more money from me, dude? Why you want more money?
Why you want more money?
Okay, as hard as that was for us to do, there's all the arguments. That's what everyone's going to be saying in the comments down below. We'll save our opinions for just after this next bit, so stay tuned. The community haven't taken this news all too well, and at the time of recording, there's been a sizable amount of people criticising the game. Some players have said their interest in the game has died completely following this announcement, whereas others are calling for a boycott of the game. However, it should be said this is likely not the developers who wanted to include the system in the game. It's more likely the decision was made by the game's publisher, Warner Brothers Games, who have quite a bad reputation among the gaming community. Warner Brothers Games have been mocked in the past few years for their seemingly inability to do things right.
They first garnered negative attention for the disastrous PC port of Batman Arkham Knight, which they outsourced to the cheapest bidder. The DLC debacle with Mortal Kombat X, which was another poor PC port that they decided not to support until the community badgered them and they relented. And just this year, they published Injustice 2, a fighting game which also had loot crates containing in-game items and skins, but they were cosmetic only. So Warner Bros. Games aren't exactly known for their community-friendly approach to game development, and putting microtransactions in a single-player game like Shadow of War is the final straw for some people. There's currently no information on how much these loot boxes will cost and how much gold will cost in real money. Warner Bros. Only say they will communicate this information at a later date.
So there you have it. We've laid out everything for you to make your own minds up whether you think that microtransactions is a good thing or a bad thing in this case. Now there's some ways some games, some developers, some publishers do microtransactions in such a shitty way. Is this a way that you can do it right? You know what I mean? Is there a way of doing microtransactions right? We think no. Stop it with this bullshit practice. Don't put microtransactions in full price games. If you want to put microtransactions in your game, don't charge us for the game. We've already paid for the game. The biggest argument that weighs heaviest for me out of everything that we've outlined is that this will spur more people to do this in future and to integrate microtransactions in a more exploitative way. Before you know it, if everyone bends over for these developers, you'll have shitty games that you won't be able to unlock half of the shit in the game, be locked content in the game unless you pay money for it. You've already paid for the game.
I think the real sad thing here is that I've been watching the developers commentary and stuff on this game, and they seem like they really do like the Tolkien world. They love Middle-earth. They want to treat people to all the lore, and the voice upstairs has said we need microtransactions. So they've tried to do it in a way where it doesn't affect the game, but at the same time they've got to, and you can almost see exactly where Warner Bros have stepped in and said, right lads, listen, sort this out, give us some money, take some mirroring, take some gold, make it worth our while. I feel like they've really been held prisoner here by the publishers, and it's a shame because they really did seem on board for this, and it looks like again the publishers are winning, and like you're saying, it's so accepted, it's so normal now, people aren't really batting an eyelid, in terms of the journalists, because it's hyper normalization. It's just becoming part of gaming.
It is a shame because the original game Shadow of Mordor, that was received so well by the community, awesome reviews for the game, and Shadow of War, which is the sequel, was highly anticipated by gamers and critics alike. Of all that positive word of mouth that they had from the original game, the Nemesis system, how that worked, everyone was raving about it. A lot of people are soured on the idea of Shadow of War now because of this microtransaction, so it's like bad press for them, bad publicity.
I played Shadow of Mordor on release. I loved it. I couldn't have said enough good words about it. As someone that was into it and anticipating this a lot, I couldn't really give a about it now, to be honest. It would have been a day one buy for me because I can count on it being good, but now I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what people are saying about it before I jump in. From an actual fan of the series, they can tell me all they want that it's going to be natural and all that, but I know more than to trust them. It really has killed a lot of love for this game already, and it's a shame.
Anyway, this is what we thought. We thought we'd lay this out for you in detail so that you can make your own minds up. We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to inform you and let you decide yourself. So let us know what you think about this Shadow of War microtransaction announcement down in the comments below. Do you think that there is a right way to implement microtransactions in a game, or do you think that question itself is condoning a plague in the industry? Let us know down below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here, and there's another video for you to watch on your screen around about here. Support us on Patreon if you like what we do, and we'll see you again in the next video. Until then, bye for now.